And welcome to another edition of EastLASportsScene.com. We are on the web here for your viewing pleasure. And here we go now. Let's find out now what happened since we were last together. And we, during our two previous shows, we talked about the Roosevelt Rough Riders and the East LA College Huskies with in-studio guests, the coaches and players, and that was just before the end of the season and just before playoffs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to recap everything first by talking about the final in the Classic, the East LA Classic, because as you remember, we were talking to Coach Javier Cid and his preparation of his team for that big matchup against Garfield, and that happened early last month when everyone gathered, 22,000 fans, alumni, students, community followers, interested public. They all turned out to watch the East LA Classic 2009 edition, and boy, oh boy, wasn't it a good game. The final score, Roosevelt 28, Garfield 16, and it was a very, very hard-fought and well-played football game. But again, Roosevelt coming out on top, and that moved them into the final for their run at the playoffs in the City 3A section. Garfield, unfortunately, that was, well, no, they had one playoff themselves. We're going to give you those playoff scores in a minute. But again, the feature game of the year, as it is always in our community, the East LA Classic 2009, and the victor is, or goes, the victor goes the spoils. It's the Roosevelt High School Rough Riders. Congratulations to Coach Javier Cid, all of his players that were here who performed very well that night. And again, we say congratulations to Coach Lorenzo Hernandez and Garfield for outstanding performances in the Classic. Was certainly a very, very good game for our community to watch and to observe. Okay, now, and then we moved into the Eastern League, and finally, here are the results. The Eastern League champs, the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and that was in the varsity division, of course. In the Frosh Soft division, the Garfield Bulldogs, they are the reigning Eastern League champs now. Overall records, let's go very quickly now. Roosevelt, overall 10-2. In league play, they were 6-0. The LA Jordan Bulldogs, overall 6-5. League record 5-1. Bell 7-4. In league, they were 3-3. Garfield 5-6. Also tied for third with a 3-3 record. And then Southeast 4-7. Their league record 3-3. Huntington Park 3-7 overall, 1-5 in the Eastern League, and then Southgate 2-8, and then did not get a victory in the league finishing with a record of 0-6. So that was the final statistical breakdown for the Eastern League this season. The Eastern League most valuable player, the announcement goes this way, it's Deshaun Beck of the LA Jordan Bulldogs, and we're going to give you some of his stats. Passing 82 for 145, 82 of 145 for 1,166 yards with 6 touchdown passes. He rushed on 172 carries for 2,031 yards, 9 touchdowns, and receiving 14 catches, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kickoff returns, he ran back 14 for a total of 412 yards, an average 29.4 average per yards per kickoff return. Total number of yards, all-purpose yards for Deshaun Beck, 3,790 yards, 17 touchdowns, and he also played defensive back and did punt return. So, wow, what an outstanding resume there for Deshaun Beck, and he'll be recruited. In fact, he is being recruited by some major Division I schools. We'll keep you followed as to his progress. Now, playoffs. First round happened 2 weeks ago. Roosevelt took care of Grant from the Valley with the final score of 14-10. Okay? And then last week in the second round, Fairfax, they came in. The Fairfax Lions came in from the west side, host to play the Roosevelt Rough Riders, who had the number 1 seed, and it was a home game at Rough Rider Stadium. Yet Fairfax 24, Roosevelt 7. What happened there? Okay, and then also going back 2 weeks ago, Taft beats Garfield in their first round playoff in the 4A division. In the Northern League, our neighbors to the southeast, to the northeast of us, the LA Wilson Mules, overall league record 4-7, and then league they were 3-3. That's in the Northern League. They lost to Hamilton in the first round of the 3A division playoffs. Now, let's go current right now. First weekend of December coming up in the LA City playoff, city playoff section. Number 12 Dorsey has to travel to the number 1 Crenshaw Cougar Stadium. They're the number 1 seed, Crenshaw, for their matchup on Friday. And then Narbonne, number 11, takes on Carson, which is the number 2 ranking seeding in the 4A division. 3A division, Fairfax moves on. They will play Hamilton, number 8 versus number 4, and then El Camino, number 3 seed, takes on Arleta, number 2. I like Arleta. They may be repeating from last season. As you recall, they're a new school in the Valley, and they have a very, very good program. The other school that we're looking at here in our community that we serve, the Cathedral Phantoms, and they had an outstanding season again, posting an 11-1 overall record. The only blemish on their record, they lost to Sarah, which of course is one of the powerhouses in the small school divisions. But here's the news. Watch out. Oaks Christian will come in from the Valley to play at Cathedral. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff for this Saturday, I believe, December the 5th. Okay? Now, we also have to bring credit here to our Pop Warner teams, the East LA Bobcats in the midget division. They win their championship again this year, playing Duarte, the Duarte Hawks. The Duarte Hawks, this is a revenge game because Duarte beat them in the regular season. But the championship goes to the Bobcats. Congratulations for a 36-7 win over the Duarte Hawks. Okay, semi-pro football, the Inglewood Blackhawks. They lost in the Western Division of the LaBelle Community Football League in their championship game against the North County Cobras of Oceanside. Very close game, though, 25-23. The Inglewood Blackhawks, Bobby Barales, formerly of the Roosevelt Rough Riders, making a good shot at playing in the pros with the Inglewood Blackhawks, okay? Now we turn over to the East LA Community College Huskies, ELAC. The Huskies and their football record this year, quite impressive, a big, big turnaround from the previous 2 seasons. But second-year coach Lynn Kane, and he's no stranger to football. We all know him as having gone to Roosevelt, to East LA College, and then SC, and then on to the NFL. Well, he's back coaching and has been coaching for quite some time. But he said earlier that this season would be a turning point for him, and sure enough, he posted 5 wins in a 10-game season, so he was 5-5. And in conference, here's the most impressive thing: 5-2, barely missing out an invitation to a bowl game. So, Coach Kane, congratulations to you, your coaching staff, all the players, and we will be mentioning some of these players now for honors that they were bestowed for the season this year. Okay, here they come. The second team for an all-conference, Cesar Estrada, formerly of Bell Gardens. He was defensive lineman and linebacker. He's a freshman. Next in line, James Simmers, a sophomore, Upland High School. He's an offensive lineman. And again, these are second-team selections. Continuing on, Isam Pegues, a freshman running back, Linwood High School. Carlos Perez, a sophomore linebacker, Garfield High School, honorable mention on the second team or all conference. Okay, and continuing on now to the first team. Here we go. For ELAC, the East LA College Huskies first team